Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Xiegu has a firmware update for the XPA125B. It's supposed to fix a bunch of problems. Let me show you what those problems are, then I'll show you how to do the firmware update, then we'll see if the problems are fixed. Let's get to it. What I've got here is the XPA125B and the Yaesu FT818. And I don't know if you guys can see the screen on the 818 or not, but if I make it so you can see it, then I can't see it. So I'll just narrate for you if you can't see it. We'll get through this. We'll get through this together. It's okay. Take a deep breath. It'll be fine. All right. So I am on 1.8 megahertz, 160 meter band. You can see I'm on the 160 meter band down here. I have the amp turned on and I am using a dummy load here. So we're just going to run right through this test real quick. If I key up, it stays on 160. Great. I'm going to change the band down to 80 meters. We've changed down to 80 meters down here. Amp is still on. I key up, it stays on 80 meters. Great. I'm going to turn it down to 60 meters. And I don't know where I can transmit on 60, but the amp stayed on 60. And turn it down to 40 meters, 7.265. It still says 60 meters. And I key up and it works, but that's actually the wrong filters inside the amp and it's going to be a problem. We know that you can hold the band button down, put it into manual, click it over to 40 meters, and then key up just fine, but we're lazy hams. That's not what life is about. So I put it back into auto mode, it goes back to 60 meters. I'm gonna go up again, that's 30 meters, it's still 60, and it says low efficiency. So if I switch this into manual mode and I switch this over to 30, hey look, it works fine now. Back to auto mode, we go from 30 meters to 20 meters, it says 40. And I get high SWR. Let's change it into manual mode. Let's go to 20. Hey, look, the SWR is fine now. So I'm getting the point across here that the auto mode doesn't work properly. And that's supposed to be what this firmware fixes. So let's go to 17 meters. It says 30. Let's go to 21. What is that? 15. It says 20. 24 is 12. It says 17. 25 is not a band. 28, it says 17. That should say 10. And then we go to 6 meters and it says 15 meters. Great. This is the X6200 from Xiegu. You'd think Xiegu would have a better match, right? We are on 160 on the 6200. We are on 160 on the amp. I'm going to click the transmit button here. And I get that high SWR. There's a problem there. There's something going on. I don't know what it is because it's registering that it's on the right band. Maybe this will get fixed when we do the firmware update. This is 80 meters, 80 meters. Same problem. 60 meters and 60 meters. Same problem. 40 meters, 40 meters. That one works fine. 30 meters, 30 meters. Problem. 20 meters, 20 meters. Problem. 17 meters, 17 meters. Problem. 15 meters, 15 meters. Problem. 10 works. Although it's not 10, it's 24 megahertz on the screen and it is 10 meters on the amp. And that don't match like that. Now this matches. And that works fine. And then 6 meters and that works fine. So we get 2 bands? I think it was 2. All right, now it's time to get into the firmware basics and show you guys how to do a firmware update on this amplifier. In order to do this firmware update, you're going to need a Windows computer. I happen to have a Windows computer, unfortunately. And then you're going to need the amplifier to do the firmware update on, of course. And lastly, you're going to need one of these CIV cables, CI5 cables, or cat control cables. If you didn't get one with your amp and you don't have a G90 or a 5105 that has one of these guys, I will leave a link in the description down below where you can get one of these in order to get it done. We need to take this side of the cable and plug it into the COM port on the back of the amplifier. It's the only one that it'll fit into. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could stick it in there, but don't do that. Put it in the COM port where it belongs, and then take this end and put it into your computer. I'd show you how to plug this into a computer, but about 75% of the time I get it wrong. On your computer, I want you to go to Radiodity's website. I'll leave a link in the description down below for this, and a $15 off discount code if you decide you want to get anything over at Radiolity. In the upper right-hand corner, you want to click on the support link, and then you want to choose Xiegu, because we're doing a Xiegu firmware update. This is the best place, easiest place to get the firmware from, and Radiolity has fantastic customer support. Scroll down a little bit and you will see XPA125B on the screen. So go ahead and click on that. It's going to pop up a little box for you, and we want to pick the XPA125B firmware, and it's going to ask us to download that. And instead of clicking open file, I want you to click open folder to see the folder that it was in when you downloaded it. And that's because Windows treats zip files as if they were folders, and it starts to get a little weird. And I don't want you to run into any kind of problems with the zip folder stuff getting in the way. So right click on that file, which is a compressed zip folder, and choose extract all. And then you can just go ahead and pick the default here and hit extract. When it's done, it's going to open up a new window. Inside there, you'll see a folder. Go into the folder. Inside the folder, we want to install TerraTerm by double-clicking on the TerraTerm icon. I want to go ahead and pick yes to run the thing that I just said I wanted to run. We're going to do the whole next install thing. You don't have to change anything at all about the install as you go through, so I'm just going to breeze through this really quick. And then we'll click finish, and then we will clean up our mess. So next up, what we need to do is get the amplifier connected properly so that we can be in firmware mode. Let me show you how that's all done. On the front of the amplifier, you want to hold down these two buttons, PA and band, and then turn it on. And this is going to bring it into firmware update mode. Leave this just the way it is. We need to get back to the computer. On the computer side of things, I want to go into Device Manager, and then I want to look at the ports, and you'll see this USB serial port COM4. I only have one, which makes it really easy. If you have more than one, COM2, COM3, COM4, COM27, whatever, then unplug the USB cable from the computer, and this will disappear. Let's do that real quick. See how it's gone? Then I'm going to plug it back in, and it'll pop up again as COM4, and that's what we need. So now that we know that it's COM4, let's close that out. Let's go into TerraTerm, and TerraTerm launches up here, and you can see it's got this new connection box. At the bottom, there's this serial radio button. Serial, pick COM4 or whatever your number happens to be, and then hit OK. From here, you want to go up to the setup menu and choose serial port, because we need to change the speed of the serial port, and we're going to pick 115/200 and do a new setting. Now we got to get back over to the amplifier. On the front of the amplifier, you see update and exit. We want to hit update now that we're connected in TerraTerm. Don't do this before you connect to TerraTerm. It'll make things wonky. It says erasing flash, and then it says waiting to connect. And if we look here on our TerraTerm screen, it also says waiting to connect. So we've done this properly. Now, follow this very carefully. Pay very close attention. This is the part that bricks most of these amplifiers. Go into the File menu, choose Transfer, choose X modem, choose send. Stop right here. This is the big part. See it at the bottom here where it says option 1K? You have to click this 1K box or things go really sideways. So I'm going to pick 1K, and then I need to navigate to that folder where I downloaded it. So for me, that was in the downloads folder, and then not the compressed zip file, but the unzipped one. You can see the zipper on the one folder and not on the other. Go into there. Inside there is another folder with the same name. We go into there. And then there is the XPA125B firmware file. Pick that file, double check that it has 1K down here at the bottom because it's ultra important, and then hit open. And it's going to start transferring it to the amplifier. And the amplifier now says that it's updating also. And then it automatically reboots when it gets to the end. Just be patient and wait. It really takes a long time. And then it comes back up. And now it's going to tell you your new firmware version, and it's going to go right into amplifier mode. If you happen to have any trouble whatsoever during the process of the amplifier upgrade, don't panic. Start over from the very beginning and you'll be fine. It is completely and totally recoverable. Unplug the power from the amplifier, plug it back in, hold down the PA and band button when you turn the amp on, let go of the PA and band button and the power button. You're back in update mode and you're ready to do the update again. Like I said, just start over from the beginning. Everything will be perfectly fine. Now we're at the front of the amplifier, and I want to see with the 6200 if it is fixed. This says 6 meters, this says 6 meters, and I forgot to plug in my microphone. You should see my ham shack right now. It is a horrible mess with radios everywhere trying to get this video all set up for you guys. Okay, so 6 meters, and everything's fine. 10 meters, everything's fine. And that didn't change. 24 and 10, that should say 12. It seems to work fine. Let's go into manual mode and see if there's a 12-meter band. Did we overlook that before? Nope, there's 12. And that works fine. Let's put it back into auto mode. So there is 15 meters, 15, 15. That works. 17, 17. That works. 20, 20. That works. 30, 30. That works. Upper sideband's not going to put any power out. Yep, that works. 40, 40. That works. Remember before, a lot of these didn't work at all. 60, 60. That works. 80, 80. That works. 160, 160. That works. So one band doesn't work in the auto mode, which is a lot better than half the bands working in auto but not actually transmitting. Let's switch it over to the 818. Now we've got the 818 on the pedestal here for you guys. It's showing 160 on the 818 and it is showing 160 on the amp. And it keys up just fine. Let's go up to 80 meters. It did not change. Of course, it's not going to work. Up to 60 meters, it didn't make the jump properly. Up to 40 meters, didn't make the jump properly. Up to 30 meters, didn't make the jump properly. I'm seeing a trend here. Up to 20 meters, it still says 40. That's 17 and 30. That's 21 and 30. 21 megahertz and 30. 24 megahertz and 20. 28 megahertz and 17. 50 megahertz and 15. So total failure on the FT818. So I guess the moral of the story here is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Which is kind of hard for me to do because I like to fix things. I have put thousands, literally thousands of QSOs through that XPA125B. I think it's a good amplifier. I think the auto mode kind of stinks. Usually what I do is I stick it on one band, I stay on one band and for a while until I'm done making contacts with it. And most of those QSOs, by the way, were FT8. So like the hardest abuse of an amplifier that you can do is to run FT8 on it for hours and hours and hours. I would not recommend doing the firmware update. It's not hard to do. If you want to be up to date, go for it. If you brick your amplifier, it's easy enough to fix. It's not that big of a deal. What happens when you change bands on the radio and the amplifier doesn't track? Inside of the amplifier are a bunch of filters, and those filters help you get the most amount of power out, but they also change the inductance and capacitance and so forth of the signal. They change the match to your antenna. And so that's why in the beginning with the 6200, when it wasn't working, we were seeing a high SWR into a dummy load. Like there shouldn't be any SWR into a dummy load, right? Well, it's because you have those filters in the way, and that's where the problem comes in. So run it in manual mode, which is what I did at the beginning of the video, and it worked fine, and you'll be fine all the way. I realize that the 818 has been discontinued. However, Xiegu sells a product called the CN20, which is specifically designed for the FT818 and the 817 to connect to the XPA125B. That's why I went ahead and tested that. So aside from the auto mode not working in the first place and not working less, so working more after the update, I don't think there's really any reason to do it. I mean, you can just run it in manual mode the whole way out. I will leave links in the description down below for where you can get the firmware, that discount code that I mentioned for you, and some links to those cables and the amplifier and radios that I shared with you in the video today, if you want some more information. And I'm your guy for testing out firmware and proving whether this stuff works and keeping manufacturers on their toes. So if you like stuff like that, then this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button and check out this video next right over here. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.